So thank you very much for those that are here today. We've got a very interesting and valuable session for anyone that's building the front end of their sales funnels and maybe struggling with converting, I suppose, these cold audiences that are out there that you need to get warm and hot into your funnel and buying what you have to offer. So we are lucky enough to have Jim Beard, who I'm going to bring on in a second. But before I do that, if anyone that is watching this, whether it's live or on the replay, if you can hashtag live or replay and let me know what that case, that scenario is. A chunk of this later half, I've got some pre-recorded content, so I wanted to be engaged in answering questions on the live chat. So just be mindful of that. So this first 20 minutes, Jim, we're live going through his expertise, and I'll let him introduce all that in 1 second. But for anyone that does, whether it's on the live or the replay, share this with your audience. We're going to be giving a funnel template to you, and it's the same funnel template that I'll be going through and providing a walkthrough of how to edit and adjust and get that set up correctly. So without further ado, I'm going to bring Jim Beard into the mix. How are you, Jim?
Doing great, Dan. Thanks so much for having me on, man. Happy to be a part of the collective and happy to give some value.
Thanks a lot, mate. Yeah, well, just so the audience is aware, I actually met Jim, who works for a company called 3D Ignite, as well as doing what he does with content creation. And that was actually focused initially around what he does with 3D printing. He actually produced the best performing ad for GM, and it's all based around the experience that you can provide people in this virtual environment. So later in the week, Jim's actually going to join us again to talk about virtual reality sales funnels and mastermind sort of masterclasses, which is something that we'll be bringing to the market very soon. But today, Jim is here to just give us extreme value related to the lead magnet setup. Jim is providing done-for-you services as an agency in this line of work with what he's going to be explaining. But what we're working with Jim is part of our mastermind group that's supporting the growth and the mission behind Unified Purpose. And ultimately, we are looking to automate as much of this process as possible when it comes to, I know myself, Jim, and I'm sure you've had a lot of clients that struggle with how much time that it takes with organic traffic strategies and amongst everything else we've got to handle in business. It's our goal is to help collectively get everyone to a point where they can break even on a sales funnel and just pay to get that traffic and clients, so they can be spending more time enjoying that conversation and serving their audience. So there's my little bit of an intro, Jim. Pretty much, mate, I want to hand straight over to you. Now, you got the controls okay? You found that all right?
Yeah. So my name is Jim Beard, and I own a company called Micro Machine Media. And our goal of everything that we do is to repurpose content and help out with new, unique content creation that it plays into a strategy. So the idea is our company acts as the outsourced content machine so that the entrepreneur can focus on growing their business and forming relationships, which is what you should be doing. I hear a lot of entrepreneurs that talk about how they're working a lot in their business and not on their business. So our company strives to give them that time back so that they can be better utilized in other areas where they have their zone of genius. Entrepreneurs are great at a lot of things, and especially starting out, you have to be the everybody person. And as you go along, hopefully you build a team that can take off some of those tasks that are not best serving you in your business, as far as leading to those relationships that will build your company and build your impact. So a couple things I'd like to get into. I'll share my screen here. Let's see.
What is this?
Share screen. All right. All right, so what we're looking at here, big things in what we do is value first, always.
One second, mate, let's just check. I can't see your screen at the moment. Oh, here we go.
You got it? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We had to select it.
Look
Okay,
at
cool.
Joe.
Awesome. So everything goes value first. Always, always, always. You think of, you go into a relationship, or you go into like even a mall where commerce happens, and you go into a crowd and you just walk up to a person and you say, "Hey, here's this thing. It's $12.99. Buy it." How's it going to go for you? Not too hot. You might get the occasional person that is interested, but generally you're going to be standing there for a long day in the mall. So that's the reason that they have kiosks and things like that, to be able to walk you through the value, the benefits of what you're doing, of your product, of your service, of a reason, emotional bond between you and a pain point that your customer is having. So value first always. So we give value and we pair it with entertainment, which I believe is the best way to get out a message and to gain an audience that goes from a cold audience to a hot audience that's ready to hear your offer. And that it creates excitement in the customer. It allows the customer to share your story and exponentially increases your brand value. And
What
also,
have you found with that, Jim, is the best time of days for your value, serious posts and your entertaining posts?
I'm sorry, what was that, Dan?
What have you found best works, like statistically, with the value posts that are logic and training, as opposed to entertainment?
It depends on the day, your time zone, and also what kind of product or service you have. But as far as like a general rule, we find that Tuesday, Wednesdays are good for more of a pitch post per se, and early on in the day around like lunchtime. Uh, we use Eastern Standard Time, and a lot of the world does use Eastern Standard Time as far as a go-to for time schedules. So I know that a lot of people do use our timestamps for their own. And then for the entertaining based posts, more of the awareness, branding, and entertainment, I would say later on in the evening, even as late as like 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which does, if you think about it, coincides with, okay, the family's kind of calmed down, everything's kind of chilled out in the house, everyone's been fed, everything's going on, and the kids are to bed if they need to be. In most cases, not mine on a normal basis, but they always find a way. Um, but that is the time when you're going to be looking for kind of a calm down session, or a time to kind of find some entertainment and let your brain wander for a little bit. So it makes sense.
Yeah.
But value first always is a pillar of our business, and a pillar of all content that we feel it makes an impact. And so what that does is it grows that know, like, and trust that you need in your business to have people ready to hear your offer. Because once they first come into your world, they're curious. They want to know more about you. You've said something, done something, had some kind of an ad or whatever that caused a curiosity. So now, instead of pinning them to the ground and then selling, you are giving them value first. So you give them things that are actionable steps that they can take that will make an impact in their lives immediately. And I encourage all of our entrepreneurs that we work with and our clients to don't hold anything back. I mean, the biggest entrepreneurs out there that have courses that range from 997 all the way up to 15, 20K for inner circle and things like that. You can find all of their content on their Facebook feed, in their YouTube, on their Instagram. It's all there, but it's bite-sized. So it's spread out over months on months on months. So you'd have to put the work in, but you could get that information if you were so inclined and were very, very motivated and had a ton of time to kill. But the reason that they're purchasing that program is that you're combining all that into one location, easy reference, easy guide, and you're also allowing more contact with you. They get closer to you. So inherently, it adds value. So with you giving out your value, your best stuff in little chunks, it's letting them know, like, if this is this good, man, a, a course with this person must be absolutely incredible with how generous they are with their time, their information, and their knowledge. So I always encourage value first. One of the big pillars of our company.
And next up, just to hold you up before you move on, just as a conversational piece between you and I while it's here, when we progress with what we're planning behind the scenes, we need to look at how we can use artificial intelligence to spend that time scouring those pages, finding keywords, identifying what's working, Jim.
Absolutely. And even with automation and AI, I think that there still needs to be a personal touch.
100%.
And when I say that, a lot of the talks that even we've had is like, wow, AI can go really, really far. And it can even mimic tone in conversation, but it still lacks that just little bit of personal touch that makes you want to have that human connection, that makes you want to take a next step with somebody. So I want to also hesitate away from fully adopting systems like that, because the consumer will be able to tell eventually. There needs to be a little bit of personal touch at a bare minimum, and at the best case scenario, to where you're either going live and engaging with your people and allowing them touch points to you, to where they can feel closer to you in a way that, again, harnesses that know, like, and trust.
Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely. Next thing I'd like to talk about would be where your customers are. And we're in an ever-changing landscape of platform offerings that change, it seems like, monthly at some points, but you have to be where the eyeballs are. So for instance is two things. TikTok has taken off during coronavirus. It is where all the eyeballs are. And anyone that said prior it's just a kids app, you have been corrected. It is full on adults. Adults ruin everything, and we have officially ruined TikTok. We are there in a big way. And another thing is IGTV is now allowing ads. So monetizing ads on IGTV is going to be another big thing going forward. But you have to be where the eyes are. And in a lot of our customers' cases, that can be across multiple channels. So maybe they start their day with Facebook. Maybe they do some searches on YouTube throughout the day. Maybe they make a couple IG posts. Maybe they make a TikTok video in the evening. But you have to be where they are when they need you most. And to do that, you have to create what we like to call omnipresence. And omnipresence is essentially you always being ready to extend your hand to offer help. No matter where your customer is, no matter what they're doing, at the time that they need you most, you are around. You are reachable in some way. And that's where repurposing content comes in, which we'll get into in a little bit here. And the last thing we're going to be talking about is authority building. And authority building is, it allows you to leverage milestones to attain new ones in your business, to attain authority quickly. So whether it be through podcast interviews, when you interview someone who is higher up than you, there's the perception that you are on the same wavelength and same plane as that person. Even though you're jumping on and asking them questions and asking them about their opinion, you are now viewed in perception wise as being equal to or in the same playing field as the person you are interviewing. So that's innately built in authority, just as one example. And it causes awareness to your audience and builds trust in a much faster way. So that adds speed to the entire transaction.
Now, while you're on that, Jim, we talked about yesterday, our model, which there's still some things to come into play and work out with financial metrics and what have you, but we really wanted to help people design their life through revenue sharing masterminds and bring people in. As you've seen the sustainable interviews where, these guys are up there. So in terms of not just the one person, everyone, like think about when you're designing your life with your knowledge business, you know, you're teaching that knowledge on the front end where you've got your superpowers and you reverse engineer that, help those people that are behind you to get to where you are in life. But then what's your journey in life? Because you'll find by actually going and helping these experts as well and thinking about the platform that Jim and I and the rest of the team are building, where you'll be able to actually help them grow their audience, where they've got snippets of gold when you've interviewed them, and we can help you repurpose that content, which is going to help you grow your audience, not just through the one expert, but through potentially, well, if you're capable, you're comfortable in doing it in terms of group interviews. I think it's a great way to connect the dots with things that you're wanting to achieve in life, and it's niche proof. So for anyone watching, that's some of the things that Jim and I are working on.
It plays into the old adage of you stand on the shoulders of giants, right, to make advances. So absolutely same idea. You have these giants in our industry that are so amazing at their particular thing, and you can harness that for your own business, for your own presentation, for your own mastermind. And of course, you're going to be viewed on the same plane as them, in the same arena as them. It has innate built-in authority. The entire system is around authority building and just making the entire process so much easier and less complicated. Very, very cool system indeed. The next thing we get into here is just a simple question. Which one gets your attention? It's a simple infographic about a guide for entrepreneurs, right? So on the right, you could have a PDF. You could have any kind of version of a simple post with text, or you could have the one on the left. Now, which one would you have the best chance of engaging with? Which one would resonate with you and stay in your mind for longer than it takes to scroll past the post?
I'll answer that for the audience. I'll say the infographic then, for sure.
Absolutely. It's eye-catching. It's really fun. It has fun colors. And it's put together in a way that plays to its audience, which is a visual audience. We are all very visual learners now, and our attention span is very, very short. Everyone talks about it. Our attention span is on par with a goldfish. This is where evolution has brought us, like it or not. But because of that, we're constantly consuming, always consuming information. So if you are consuming and you see the right versus the left, my argument would be that you would linger on the left and that it would linger with you. And maybe you would choose to share it because it envelops this information in a way that is quickly consumable, an excellent reference guide. And you can do this for anything, any kind of presentation that you may be going through. You can turn into videos, audio, infographics, quote cards, blog posts, podcasts. I mean, you name it, it can be diced up a million different ways, in ways to which people want to digest that content and at the location where they are digesting that kind of content.